I promise not to tell anybody that your Husqvarna Viking Brilliance 75Q has a built-in mending stitch. And don't tell anybody yourself, because if they knew how easy it was, you're going to get asked to do mending. Now, we all know that there's a time and place, and rips happen, and you can do this for, you know who, like family, friends that mean a lot to you. Okay, so in this machine, there is a stitch that you can preset to do stitches that go back and forth, all for you and make it look super pretty. Now, I do have pink thread on this machine because I want you to see it, but if you were to match your color of thread to the fabric, you're gonna see that it's gonna totally disappear. Now, the one thing that you need, so let's say you have a rip in a pair of jeans or a shirt, you snagged it, and you need to repair it. What you do need to have is some interfacing, something behind this fabric for it to stitch to. You might even find, in a pinch, just another piece of fabric, which is what I'm going to do just to kind of show you what we're stitching. Plus, you are going to be in control of how long the mending stitch is going to be. The first time you try this, do it on some sample fabric so you understand the process, but you also want to just kind of do a short one. So what I'm going to do is just do one that's maybe ½ inch or so long, because what it's going to do is do the stitching at every single needle position. So once we select the stitch, it will move the needle to the far left and then work its way all the way over to the far right. Now, people always ask me, well, what happens if my hole is bigger than the stitching area of my presser foot? Well, you're going to go ahead and do what you can, and then you're going to do it again. So you're going to start overlap a few stitches from where you were before, and go from there. Also, if your rip is just a nice clean cut that is straight, like for example, up and down, like I'm pointing, if you do this mending stitch straight up and down, there is going to be a row of stitches that totally misses that area. Okay, so what you'd want to do is work from this side. So as your stitches are coming back and forth, it will be connecting over the rip in your fabric. So just kind of be aware, if you do start one way and you realize, oops, that's not going to work, you just turn another way. It's like having almost like a crisscross grid over that mending area, and that won't be bad at all. So the way to find this, it's actually in your utility stitches. So you can either touch and hold and kind of touch the A until you get to stitch number 23, which I've already gone past because it's in the second one. Or if you want to, you could also use the arrows below your screen and just find your mending stitches this way. So there's actually 23. There's 24. You can kind of see the difference in the way the picture is shown on screen. And there is 26. So those are all stitches that you can, well, actually 25, 26, nope, that's not it. 23, 24, and 25. Those are all going to be your go-to mending stitches. So I'm going to just show you 23. By the way, you do have a bar tack one here. That is really nice to also do along the same lines. And if you're unsure, touch the question mark and touch the stitch, and it will tell you what it's used for or where to place it. Same thing for 23. Oh yeah, that's they call it a darning stitch, that it goes forward and backward. To darn mend small holes, begin stitching over hole, touch reverse for continuous darning and a stop. So that's what I want to show you. You also notice this symbol pops up when you are asked to touch the reverse. And what we're working with is, I know a lot of people try to touch it right there on screen. Okay, hello. We have to touch the button on the front of your machine to get it to activate. And that's how we control how long we want to do it. We're going to do the touching as it stitches the first row. So if it stitches down 10 stitches and then we touch it, it knows to go back 10 stitches, forward, back, forward, all the way over, all the needle positions, that exact amount until it's done. Now you can always stop this sooner. Just note that you might need to reset it if you needed to do it again, but you don't have to do it as wide. But once the stitch is done, it does finish. So let's go ahead and show you up close how the mending stitch stitches out. Remember, I mentioned that I just want to do a short one, so I'm going to just stitch about ½ inch, stop sewing, and touch the reverse button one time. That's it. All you need to do now is just sit back, let the machine do the rest of this for you. So you're going to start to see the needle positions, all the different ones that you're seeing. And then again, just keep your foot on the foot control until the machine comes to a complete stop. There's those locking stitches indicating it has come to the end and it's technically ready to do again. So let's just do the scissors. We'll cut that off right there. I know it's going to leave a little bit of a jump thread, but you see what we have. Now, I will tell you, and a lot of people get very concerned about this. Yes, the mending stitch is designed to actually kind of go at an angle. And that's because if you had this stopping all in one part of the fabric all the way across here, you would have a very weak part. And guess where the next rip is going to happen? From those last stitches right there. I'm sure that was a wear area sometimes, and so it's just going to pull apart. So by doing it kind of at an angle, kind of like a bias, you're going to have a little bit more strength as it ends in different locations. So that is normal. You might have to plan for that. So if you have a rip and opening, number one, you are starting above in the top left corner, and then as it stitches down and around, it is going to kind of cover up. So if I had missed part of my opening because of that, I could just come down here and do a little bit more over the top of it. So I hope that mending, and try those other mending stitches, see which one you like the best. And I know this is the one this is my go-to if I have to do mending. So again, your secret is safe with me, and you can do it just in the workings of your own family and friends.